Hey fellow fanatics, DJ Bricks here, back for another video, and today I have a review on a LEGO summer Marvel set with the Infinity Saga. It is the Iron Man Armory. It is set number 76216. Recommended building ages is 7 and up. Comes with 496 pieces and retails here in America for a whopping $90. That price point. And as you can see, it is yet another rendition of the Hall of Armors for Iron Man. It does introduce a slightly new modified style, and it is largely based off of Iron Man 2, but there's some other MCU based stuff in here just to give us a little bit more, but Iron Man 2 is largely serving as a backdrop for the set, so let's not waste any more time and get into it and start deconstructing it, starting as always with the minifigures. So first figure we're going to take a look at is Tony Stark himself. This figure is completely reused from that What If set that came out last year. So you just got plain gray legs there. You got really sweet torso print featuring Rock Raiders reference. It's kind of supposed to be just a Lego-fied version of the Black Sabbath t-shirt he has in the first Avengers movie. It's just Lego kind of did their own thing while keeping some of the design there. And you have a little writing up there at the top. Can't really make out what it says, but it's also a Rock Raiders reference. And then on the back, you just have some creases of the shirt there. And then it's the same old Tony Stark head we've been getting since the Infinity War wave, with a normal, pretty standard Tony Stark head with the beard and goatee. And then the other side has that heads-up display showing with over an angry expression, which is pretty nice. And you can take that head off and reuse it for the other Iron Man suits in the set here. So first of the Iron Man suits we're going to take a look at is the Mark III here. It is completely reused from the Ironmonger set from last summer, but they did update it a little bit. We'll get into that in a moment. I mean, I would have liked to have seen the Mark IV in this set, but obviously they reused the Mark III here. Same leg print and same torso print. It's all very nicely done. Very fine details with all the little rivets and stuff. Same back torso printing. But the helmet, this is new for the Iron Man figures, and the set introduces a lot of them in a few different colors. So what Lego did here, they pretty much took the old Iron Man helmet and they kind of slimmed it down. It is kind of halfway between the old style here, which I have a one of the older Iron Man figures. I think this is a Heartbreaker from one of the Iron Man 3 sets, but they pretty much took that and slimmed it way down and kind of shrunk the face mask. And then they kept the gimmick of the Invincible Iron Man helmets, where it's just a flat front mask, and they can print whatever they want on it. And here, it does look very nice. It's very accurate to the helmet of the movie. It's just not three-dimensional anymore, and it also retains from that first generation the flip-up mask feature, so that is pretty nice. And as you can see underneath there, there is a translucent head because this is meant to just be a display armor, and the helmet also just really snaps back into place, so it really looks nice. I appreciate the update where they made a more efficient helmet that doesn't look too oversized, and that they can reuse for any Iron Man character, not just Tony Stark. And next up we have the Mark 85 from Endgame. This is pretty much just the same leg print, torso print that we've seen for a couple of few sets now that feature this armor. They did update it with the new helmet though, where you have a nice printed visor there that accurately reflects how the helmet looks for the Mark 85. Very nicely detailed. For accessory, he does come with this blade piece that I assume is supposed to represent the knife he tries to hurt Thanos with, and then he's got this nice rocket pack for the flight suit that he has for Infinity War and Endgame. It's it's like their umpteenth attempt at making that flight suit, and this looks pretty nice. It's just a handful of pieces, and you can angle it however you want. And pose it however you want, but we can see the torso print is also relatively unchanged from previous versions. Again, this suit is mostly reuse with some new things put onto it. Again, you get a translucent head underneath the helmet for display purposes. Next up we have the Mark 25 from Iron Man 3, codenamed the Striker. Pretty much it does use the Ninjago shoulder pads there in a nice keyed orange, kind of orangish yellow color, and then the assemblies he has on his hands here for this armor. This is a more construction armor, so these are supposed to be actual jackhammers in the film on the actual suit, but Lego just used a handful of already available pieces just represented, and I think it looks really nice. I think it is fine. They didn't need to go out of their way to make a new mold or anything, but the effect it does have is it looks really well done. Only real nitpick here is with the bars on the top here for the detail. These are only attached via one stud, so they kind of come out of alignment every once in a while, so that is something to look out for. But I'm going to take one of these off just so we can get a clear look at the torso detail. Again, it just uses the normal hands that clips onto. Really nice torso detail and leg printing all the way down to the toes there. And it's very shiny, and it's a very reflective, almost like the Beskar Mandalorian. Really nicely detailed, and you have some nice back torso detail on the back, obviously, and you have some nice yellow construction detail for the back of the torso there. And you have the new helmet there in a gunmetal color, which is nice to get, and that does feature some nice printing for the helmet of the Striker armor. Again, it's that newer style that still can open up. You have a trans blue head underneath there for display purposes. Next up is a figure we've been waiting quite a while for. It's War Machine's Mark 1 for his armor here from Iron Man 2. Pretty much for accessory, he's got his Gatling gun that goes over his shoulder. That's made up with about 3 pieces, including a lightsaber hilt. It's a build they've used numerous times to depict his minigun that sits up there, and it does work pretty nicely. You can rotate it, you can put it on either side and pose it however you want, so that is pretty cool. Torso detail is very nice. You have the arc reactor there in the center, nice details on the legs here. I wish that they had came up with a harness or something just to create a little bit more bulk here for War Machine. His armor for the Mark 1 is pretty darn bulky here. and don't really. The detail is incredibly accurate for that, but I don't really feel the bulk of his, especially up at the top of his armor here. And the helmet is that newer style. It can flip open, and you have a nice mask print with the red eyes and the silver detail of that front mask. Flipping that up, we have a new. This is a new head to depict Don Cheadle's roadie here, and it is very nice. It actually looks very like Don Cheadle there, so they did a really good job. Unfortunately, it's only a one-sided head, so I would have liked to have seen a second head featuring the heads-up display that we've gotten with previous War Machines. So I don't know why it wasn't included here, but that is very much a disappointment, but that front head is pretty fine and does the job well. And then at the back, you can see you got some more detail for the back of a War Machine, with some nice detail for all the armor that goes into the Gatling gun on his shoulder. So next up, we actually have the villain of Iron Man 2, Whiplash. This is our first time getting this character, and they went with the Mark II of his armor from the movie instead of his first appearance. I guess this is more supposed to be the finale of the movie. Hopefully we get another one. For accessory, he does come with these long chain pieces in a trans blue color, which is new for this part and exclusive to the set, and I really appreciate them using the long one because you can really wrap these around a figure just like the movie, and it looks really good when you do that. So really appreciate that instead of just like building something up that is really more accurate and way more fun to play with for the kids. Torso printing and leg printing is really phenomenal, all the way down to the legs there. You have the Ninjago shoulder pad piece again here. It's in a silver color, so that is relatively new. And then he also, like Rhodey, comes with a new face printing up here to depict Mickey Rourke here, and it looks really nice. I really like it. That really looks like the actor, and he does come with that old Ken Jarrus hair in a black color, and you also have a secondary face where he is slightly more aggressive. I would have liked to have seen a darker skin tone for Mickey Rourke, but I guess he does have slightly less tan skin in the movie than I remember, but he also does come with a helmet here for the helmeted look for his Mark II of the Whiplash armor, and that again uses the old Invincible Iron Man second generation of the helmet, and you have a nice print there on the helmet, which is really nice and detailed. So I really appreciate them including that. Second to last figure, Pepper Potts. This figure is completely reused from that Ironmonger set, kind of like the Mark III it was. So you have the same exact torso print there, black legs, and same reused head from Karina Smith, I believe. And you have a nice back printing and back facial print there, and she does reuse that ponytail piece in that orangish color, dark orange. I believe she had like a white suit on in this movie in Iron Man 2, but again, this set is kind of just an amalgamation of them all, so You know, also to note, the white on this one is actually better than the one I got last year, so that is nice to see. And then last but certainly not least, we got a Nick Fury figure. This one is the same as we've been getting for the past couple of years now. Same head from the Far From Home set and onward, and same torso print, even though it's not completely accurate to Iron Man 2. Again, I'll kind of mix up of all the movies here, and very nice torso print there. And it does continue on the back, as well as the strap from his eye patch, but as always with Nick Fury, they don't print right there at the center of the head there. And then the legs are the updated version of that coattail piece, where they remembered that the bottom half right there, they used to print a tunic there from General Hux, and that's no longer there because they remembered it was a tunic that he was wearing in that movie. So it's more of the relatively updated version of that print. Here's the set all built up. Pretty much you get some of the display cases for the Hall of Armor there. You get the little round dais he has to suit up. You get a couple of tools, a couple of workbenches, and one of Tony's many cars. So build for this took me a couple hours to build on and off. Pretty much everything was pretty enjoyable to build. The only thing I have to say, like previous of the Hall of Armor sets, the building up the actual Hall of Armors is the most repetitive part of all of this. So that's a little bit to watch out for. They do have you build each of row 4 at a time, so it goes by pretty quickly if you build them all at once. But we're going to start looking at all this. Looking at the car build of the set, we have Tony's Audi Spider. But not really. It's essentially that car, but it's not licensed quite regrettably, so we have none of the actual car details for logos or anything. But I say that with the utmost respect, because this really felt like, as I was building it, it felt like a Speed Champions build, pretty much. With how they did the fender here, a lot of snot techniques on the side of the car here, how the back bumper is built with all the intakes here and the spoiler. You have the license plate there. That is a sticker. I should note right off the bat, all the stickers here are clear back, so if you screw up with any dust or anything, it's kind of hard and a pain to get them looking right again. You have some pins there representing the intake. You have a nice part usage here for the window, and pulling all that up, you can actually see you have a seat there that you can put a figure in. They do relatively fit nicely, like any car. You have a steering wheel. You have a nice dashboard that is also a sticker. So kind of weird that they did that with a when they do have a separate printed piece for that. And then the thing that was sitting back here, just flopping about as I've been showing you, that kind of just sits there. But this is from Iron Man 2, and it's pretty much 3 separate stickered 1x6 tiles, where each one kind of is a piece of the Stark Expo little diorama of that is shown in Iron Man 2. You have the Stark Expo logo down there in the corner with the year, and this all looks pretty nice. We'll note that you should probably take your time applying these stickers because you need to get them all lined up so they actually look like one complete map, and we'll get into that in a second. The next build that we're going to take a look at is pretty much the main dais that Tony Stark suits up on. So this is a pretty nice little build. You have some lots of tiled pieces here, little nice part usage for the steps. You have a radar dish down there at the bottom in trans blue just to kind of create some little depth there and create some nice lighting. But you can use the jumpers here to kind of pose like Tony walking up here to get suited up, or you can actually just pose him right here at the main center of that. So you can reenact him getting suited up or something. So that is pretty nice. It's a pretty nice little sub-assembly, but unlike the previous Hall of Armors, this just doesn't have a... it doesn't connect to anything, so I would have appreciated that. Next up is one of the two workbenches that you get in this set. It's pretty much on top of it, you have little build, whatever the hell this is supposed to be. I've seen the movies. I can't figure out what this is supposed to be, unless it's something from just made up or just a random tool to build up that just sits on there. And then you are advised to the instructions, just disassemble the Mark III and just put the parts of the armor around the set. So you can just put the helmet on top of this workbench and just set it wherever. And it does use a little bit of stunt technique for creating the little feet for this, but when this is cleared off, you can actually take those Stark Expo maps that are in the Audi, and you can pretty much just put them on the table, and you would kind of have to piece it together like a puzzle. So you can put it on the table here and have the complete Stark Expo map. And that's what I was saying with being careful to apply the stickers on these ones to get it all lined up so it looks like one complete diorama. And that does look pretty awesome in my opinion to finally get that as an actual build in a Marvel set. The other workbench that he has is more built up on it, honestly. You do get a chair here. You can see the pieces that make it up. It's pretty nice. Pretty basic too. And the table is built the same as the other one, so don't need to go over that. You do have this nice little hanging thing where the Mark III chest part is advised to be hung. So you can have pretend Tony Stark's working on this armor. It does have this little sub-assembly that you attach onto it at this point, where it just looks like the bottom mechanics attached to the legs are kind of just dangling there, and that can be moved however you want, and it can easily detach just because it's attached via a couple studs onto that table there, but that is pretty nice. You get a coffee mug there at the table, and then you have a couple of stickers here against trans blue, which is just specs of the Mark III armor there, considering Tony's working on that particular armor at this time. And then you have two stickers here for different blueprints of stuff. So this first one is just how him working on making the arc reactor for with the new element that's because the old one is slowly killing him. And then this sticker is very nice. It references the blueprints for Captain America's shield, which kind of a miss here, considering in the actual movie that thing was an actual prop that Coulson held up. So I would have liked to have seen an actual version of that shield. But the blueprint sticker is also a pretty sweet reference to that. You get some power tools pretty much to help Tony work on some stuff. This nice little assembly is supposed to be a bench press or a drill press, if you will. So you have a nice usage of parts here to make the drill bit, make the little part that you hold whatever you're drilling into on. You got a nice little lever reenacted there. It's all pretty nicely done. It's very apparent what that is if you know what you're looking at. So really cool little sub-assembly. And then here you just have a tool chest. You have 4 drawers in here. There's nothing in any of them. It's just for the looks and give you space to put stuff, I guess. Pretty nicely built up. You have a lot of stuff hanging up here. You got a wrench, you got whatever that's supposed to be. You get a nice little build for a lamp here that can be adjusted however you want. You get a nano figure, I assume representing like a mini model of an Iron Man suit. And then this thing, I think it's supposed to be the proof Tony Stark has a heart little thing, or it's supposed to be the little housing unit for the new arc reactor that he makes in the film, but it is still pretty nicely built up. I would have liked to see a print there, however, just to clarify what that actually is. And then you get this robotic arm thing. I think it's supposed to be a Dum-E, yet another different build for him. You do have some nice upside down building to build the feet and stuff down here, and then it's got a ball joint there and a ball joint there, so you can pretty much get a nice range of movement and posability from this thing. And then you get a clip here, which you can put anything in, but the final instructions show you to put the buzzsaw piece there. So you can take that off, use it any way you want. So it's also a fairly nice inclusion. We get to the actual Hall of Armors portion of this build. This is very nicely done. Although they did introduce a new building style with these compared to the previous models that we got. For one thing, these are way taller than the previous one, just due to them using the garage door pieces here just to give it an extra bit of texture and make these a little bit more accurate to the portions of the Hall of Armor in the actual movie. So they are pretty taller. They also do not have the clip hinges at the top there, so you can only connect these from the bottom, which kind of sucks. And another thing that they changed, you can only fit a suit or something here at the 1x2 spot down there. So they do advise to put the legs of the Mark III there, but you can put any full built armor there. The next section down there is also easily removable. You can place it in any of the armor slots that you want, but this is mainly just to house the flight suit thing when you don't want it actually on the armor, but that just sits there all loose and can easily fall off. Of course, it's not going to do it for me this time, but that is pretty loose. You also have a sub-assembly in this one that can be placed anywhere. Pretty much you got a fire extinguisher, and you got a gold version of that second generation stud shooter. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to represent, if that's supposed to be like the guns on the Mark 50 and Mark 85 or what. That's just included there. And then up here, you have different schematics, I will say, of different builds. These also can be taken off and put wherever you want on these modulars, but once you put them in here, you can't put a figure in there. They actively just take up the slot of a figure, so that is really not good with me. But this one is against trans blue, and it's pretty much just showing the nanotech of the what is that, the Mark 85 or is that the Mark 50? Either way, it's one of those two armors. The other ones do feature the Mark 1, so you can place that with the Mark 1 if you have that. Again, this really doesn't it'll work with the older style, but it won't exactly, you know, if you wanted to put that with the Mark 1, it's kind of hard. So that's not really good. And then you have a other one. This one here is for the Mark, I believe 32 or something, or 38 or something. It's the Silver Centurion armor that was a video game promo. So you have a nice sticker there. And then something I want to bring up quality issue wise, with all these trans blue parts, they are very scuffed up from just being in the bags with the rest of the parts. This newer material that Lego makes their trans parts out of is very more likely to be scratched up. And that is not really, that is really unfortunate. And some of these parts, especially the ones with the little scans for the suits, are really scratched up. That is not a good thing quality wise, and I hope Lego can come up with something to avoid that in the future. But going over the modularness of these, it's pretty similar to the old ones, where you can stack them, as you saw, and then each of these is just an individual build. You can connect them at the hinge here, create a nice little hull of armor here. Get it all hinged like that, as you see here. Sorry about that. As you can see, you can pretty much get them all together hinged, but without that top layer, they are kind of wanting to twist and break. You also have the guard railing up here that you can pretty much just put wherever. However you want to pose that. I do appreciate the modular style still being here, so you can pretty much buy multiples of these and still customize it. So that is very good that they kept that play feature of this set in the the Hall of Armor sets. Looking at the extra pieces, pretty standard selection here. With a few exceptions. You get an extra one of those nanofigs, pretty nice. You get an extra one of those holder pieces in gray, which is super nice. That is a rare color for that piece. Extra lightsaber hilt in gunmetal gray. You do get extra ones of the unused mechanical parts that come in that one little baggie there. You get 4 of them that are not used. Then of course with the stud shooter, you get 2 extra shots that are designated for as extra shots, and you get an extra trigger. So a pretty standard selection of extra pieces. But looking at the instructions, we get that nice new kind of fairly controversial cover for the new sets, with this new cover where you got the white kind of top and bottom here with the Lego pieces, the theme logo up the top there, set number. You get a rendering of the actual set, which is my biggest issue with these instructions here. I don't mind that the fact that this has changed. It's just this doesn't need to be a render. This can absolutely be a actual photo of the set. There's no need for this to have been a render. And then opening this up, looking at the instructions, you have that building app to the side there, as well as that little blurb letting you know that they're transitioning into more sustainable packaging. So we may see some paper bags mixed in with the plastic. That is unavoidable. And this, you get the blurb build one bag at a time, which bag builds what stuff in the set, and this build does take about 76 pages of complete building. And then here you see the entire Infinity Saga for the rest for the year so far, with the Iron Man figure earlier in the year. You have cross sale for this set, as well as the I Am Groot, which here in America doesn't come out till August, but at least they are trying to promote it, so that is a good thing. And you get a parts inventory here at the back, 2 whole pages, and then you get the standard win thing with a pirate sporting it this time. Looking at the box for the set, despite it being like what should have been a $50 set, we do get that $90 size box for some reason. And you can see it's got that same design that we see for the Infinity Saga sets, with the logos up the top. We get a nice image of Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. You have different comic book panels made up of bricks here with all the different characters that you can see. Minifigures down there at the bottom. A nice product shot of the set. And flipping this up to the top, you have the Mark 85 of the Iron Man ones, sporting the actual size reference there. And flipping this around, you have a nice show of all the product features of the set, showing some different playthings that you can do with it. And you can see more of that background at the bottom there, as well as like newer characters such as Mighty Thor and the Watcher and all that. I'm trying to see where that Shuri is. That's supposed to be on these now, but there she is, right up there at the right by the Iron Man actual size. There's what's supposed to be Shuri from the upcoming Black Panther sets. So that's a little cool thing to notice. Going over my final thoughts for the set, build wise, pretty enjoyable build, very nicely designed throughout, with the spider car, and my only real critique is don't like how everything is all disconnected. That while that allows for more creative play and such, for kids make a large play area, I would have liked to have seen more connectedness, just to give a more concrete, like not lose anything. The other thing, while the change and design to the Hall of Armor is more accurate to the film, there are some things that I just can't get with, and that is they made the Hall of Armor too tall. While that is accurate to how they are in the movie, minifigure ones are not take up half the space, so the shorter design that they came up with for Endgame was actually more accurate in size, but they don't make smaller garage door pieces, so I guess they felt the need to make them taller. The other thing, I don't like the fact that the holographic scans of the different suits now just take up a full suit slot instead of just being a sticker that you place onto the back of the on the back of the suit slot. So while it is more accurate when they're shown and the specs of the suit in front of the glass there, you can't really fit a figure behind it now because that just looks out of place. So not good with that. Minifigures, only real critique. I would have liked to have seen an alternate head for Rhodey. I have no idea why he doesn't have an alternate face, at least for a heads-up display or an angry face or something for a different use. He's had it in the past, so I don't get why he only has a single-sided face here, unless that face is just going to be used for generic purposes, which I don't really like. But the figures we also do get here are also standouts. We get our first War Machine in his Mark 1 armor. We get that new we get the Mark 25 for the first time. We get Whiplash as a villain. Great to have the Iron Man 2 villain, main villain, finally as a figure. I do appreciate them, again, using the trans color for the whips. That is a really good part usage. You also have the helmets, which is also controversial within the community. I actually like them. They are actually nice halfway but point that uses the best of both of the previous helmets, where you have the nice detailedness of the first helmet and the flip up visor feature, but you also have the nice part of the Invincible Iron Man helmet, which is just slimmer, and you can actually have a flat face, so you can just print whatever you need onto it. So you get the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And quality, first of all, the cover of the instructions is not... I will continue to harp on this, but the rendering I just don't like. I would have preferred to see some actual realism of the set there. They do it for the front of the box. I don't know why they can't just keep reusing that for the front cover. Also, most of my trans blue parts for the set were like scuffed up from just other parts rubbing against in the bag. So that newer material that they use just doesn't really lend itself well to that, and I was kind of miffed at that. And then the biggest elephant in the room here, that $90 price point here in America. This set is not $90. I'm sorry, it's not. It should have been like $40 to $50. That's what this set is. It's a $40 to $50 set. That's the value here. having this built up, yeah, this is completely like the old one that came out in 2019. This does not feel $90. This feels $50 max here. So $90 is way overpriced for the set, and I highly advise waiting for a sale to buy this at if you're not comfortable paying that $90. You get some nice new helmet molds, you get some nice new figures, but all in all, that $90 is just not worth it. I kind of feel ripped off a little bit paying that full price. But again, this is a good set. It's just badly priced. So with all that being said, this set does get a 6 out of 10 for me. Pretty low score. I rarely give them out, but that price just rubbed me the wrong way. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this set. I always look forward to having a discussion with you guys there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Ring that bell so you're actually notified when I upload. And I will see you in the next video. Until next time, stack on.